Hi friends, today I am going to talk something about the design pattern which is called the Singleton Design Pattern. Basically what the Singleton pattern tries to achieve is to create an object which cannot be duplicated, which we cannot create multiple instances for the same object. So first thing which comes to my mind is a static class. If I make a class static, but static class has its own problems like it is not tested easily and also cannot be inherited and those stuffs. So we can see how we can make a singleton object. Basically, we are making an object using a singleton design pattern and making sure that only one instance can be created at any time. Before coming to that, I'll just explain the need of a singleton object in an application. For example, you have a web application and you need to count the number of hits to an application. So we make use of what is called an application object in PHP. So application object might be using a singleton pattern since it cannot be duplicated. Similarly, we have a cache object which are all global objects which cannot be duplicated. So now we will go to the code example. So here I'm just explaining an example wherein I have a logger class and I have a method in the logger which is writing down something to a text file. Run it. And writing something like writing to. Fine. So this time I'm making two objects of the same logger class. So now I want to prevent making multiple instances of this logger object. So to prevent multiple instances, I should prevent creating new of the object of the class. So how can I prevent creating new? One method is like I should make the constructor as private. I make the constructor private. Once I make the constructor private, I am in no way able to create my new instance, so that I cannot use this method which I want to use, which I need to use. So what is the next step? Next step is, since I cannot create a new instance, this code I am commenting it off, it is useless. So I have made the constructor private. So now my next method idea is to make a private instance of the same class inside this. I create a private field inside, and then creating a private field alone doesn't help since I'm trying to create. So if this, so what I do, I make a public property. I make a public property here. Inside the public property, I'm creating the private field, which is the same type. So I'm checking if it is null, I'm creating a new object and then returning that object. So then also I'm going to test whether I can still access the method. No, I cannot. So what I do, I make this property as static. Now what happens, I'll see. Now I'm able to write to file. Now so then also I have a problem. I cannot access this private instance which I created inside my static class. So I make this field as static. Okay, now I have created my logger class as singleton. So just try to run it. I am able to run it. I'll go to the text file and see whether it is writing. I test my singleton pattern. It is writing the test file singleton pattern. This is how we implement a singleton pattern. But we have one more problem in this. One problem is this line of code which I have written, though it seems to work fine in the Windows application, There is a suppose this was an application which is multi-threaded. There is a chance that this code is getting hit at the same time from multiple places, so that we are able to move the instance again. So to prevent that problem, we have to create a lock. And then before creating this object, I lock it. Use that object using the lock keyword. Make sure that this is created only once. So this is how we implement a singleton pattern. Again, I'll just see whether. So I'm writing my thing. Code is working fine at this point of time also. So this is how we create a singleton pattern. I'll just iterate through the things which we have done here. So here we have a first thing what we make is we make the constructor as private to prevent new object creation. Then what we make is we make a static instance property of the same class, static instance property, and then use a property to access that field, and inside it we use a lock object. We use a lock object to prevent the object being duplicated by multi-threading problems. So we use a lock object to prevent duplicate creations in case of a multi-threaded app. This is how we go for a singleton pattern.